Chosen one, something very specific is approaching your life, arranged at the right time, in the right position, and through the right circumstances, so precisely that when it appears, even those who once underestimated you will not be able to explain it. I, Michael, stand beside you in the mercy of heaven to remind you that what is being prepared for you is not a random event, nor is it a passing stroke of luck. There is a quiet current of movement that has been flowing beneath the surface of your life for a long time, silently reconnecting scattered pieces, correcting what seemed to have gone off course, and bringing you closer to the moment God has preserved for you. You were once overlooked. You once passed through rooms where people looked at you with doubt, where whispers tried to make you believe you were not capable enough, not valuable enough, not strong enough to reach the place you were called to enter. I saw the times you endured in silence, the times you kept walking, even while someone behind you quietly rejoiced when your plans had not yet come to pass. But beloved child, nothing you went through has been wasted. Their disregard cannot cancel what heaven has acknowledged. Their doubt cannot lock the door God is preparing to open for you. What is coming does not need trumpets to announce it, does not need the attention of the crowd, and does not need anyone outside to confirm it before it becomes real. It moves like deep water beneath the earth, not always visible, yet still continuously flowing, still quietly nourishing, still moving toward the place it must reach. You may have thought that everything was standing still, that your prayers were falling into an empty space, that your effort had not produced any clear sign. But I speak to you with tenderness and certainty. In the seasons when you thought nothing was changing, heaven was still working. Therefore, do not let memories of being overlooked pull you back into the old way of seeing yourself. Do not measure what is coming by the reactions of those who once failed to recognize you. They may not have seen you in the season of sowing, but they will not be able to deny it when the season of blooming begins. Yet keep your heart humble. What God does is not coming so you can take revenge through pride, but so you can stand upright in peace. Continue walking in light, and know that true recognition is not born from human applause, but from the hand that has guided you through every hidden stretch of the road. Breathe more slowly. My child, what is about to happen will not require you to force, beg, or prove yourself. It will come with the precision of heaven. At the exact time when every piece has been placed in position, when that moment opens, you will understand why certain delays were allowed, why certain doors once closed, and why you were held still in seasons when it seemed no one saw you. That current is still moving toward you, and this time, you only need to stand firm. Keep your heart pure, and be ready to step into what has been prepared. What you thought was waiting was not only waiting, and what you thought was silence never meant you had been forgotten. Beloved child, I want you to hear this with deep peace beneath your feet. The things you have not yet seen are still quietly moving. There are changes that do not begin with a loud sound, that do not appear immediately before your eyes for you to easily name. Yet they are still real. The ground of the old season has not remained still as you thought. What once made you feel stuck is beginning to crack open from below, and you are drawing near to a threshold far more important than your current circumstances are showing. Before this word closes, I will place into your life a confirmation you will carry for a long time, not as a passing sound, but as a gentle seal within you. But first, you need to understand why you were brought to this moment. No one comes to words like these completely by accident. No one stops before a message that calls them into awareness unless something within them is gently stirring, urging, inviting them to step out of old delay. A part of you has already known that you can no longer move through life with the same way of seeing, the same tired rhythm of breathing, the same quiet endurance as before. And because you are still here, because you have not turned away, I want you to understand that this word is touching your very journey. You may have gone through a long season that felt as though nothing was happening, while outwardly everything still seemed slow, hidden, and without any clear sign. But God's silence is not emptiness. Many times, it is the place where He protects what is being formed, shelters what is still tender, and keeps you from being revealed too soon before eyes that were not entrusted with understanding you. You thought you were being delayed, but in truth, you were being prepared. You thought you were being held back, but in truth, you were being placed in the right position. So do not take lightly the prompting that brought you here. Do not dismiss the feeling that something in your life is calling you forward. That prompting has not come to make you anxious, but to awaken the courage that has been covered by too many weary seasons. It reminds you that the door ahead is not as far away as you thought. And what God is preparing does not require you to panic in order to receive it. It needs you awake, tender, humble, and ready to step when the time opens. I speak to you with mercy, but also with authority. You were not brought to this moment merely to hear and then forget. You were led here to recognize that the days that seemed still had meaning. The silences that once wounded you were not useless. And your journey is drawing near to a new turning. Keep your heart quiet, but do not fall asleep. Wait in faith, but do not hide behind waiting, for when the threshold opens, you will understand that God has quietly led you here, step by step. And not 1 minute of the past season has been lost. There is an offer moving toward you, one that does not originate from human hands, does not depend on the networks that once closed their doors, and does not come from the system that repeatedly looked past you as though you were not even there. I want you to listen to this with peace, because what is about to open is not only an ordinary opportunity, nor is it merely a light change on the surface of life. It carries the shape of a rewriting, a sacred correction to the stories others were too quick to place upon you when they had never fully understood the journey you had walked. They called you by names that did not belong to you, measured you by shallow standards, and decided your worth based on a season in which you were still being prepared. But what human beings concluded in ignorance has no right to become the final verdict over your life. Beloved child, this offer does not come to make you proud, but to confirm that quiet faithfulness has never been forgotten. There were days when you kept doing what was right, even though no one saw you. There were seasons when you kept your heart pure, even though the visible results did not support you. There were times when you chose not to retaliate, not to defend yourself, not to sell your peace cheaply, just to be accepted in a room too narrow for your calling. I saw all of it. Heaven remembered the moments when you thought you were invisible. And now, what is coming does not come to reward noise, but to uphold the one who learned to stand firm in silence. What makes this offer yours is not that you are more perfect than others, nor that you have never trembled, It comes because you were refined in places no one wanted to go. Because you learned to continue when there was no clear sign. Because you guarded what was sacred within you, even when the people around you could not recognize it. You passed through delay without letting your heart become hard. You passed through being overlooked without handing your worth over to others to decide. You passed through closed doors and still did not lose the gentleness needed to enter the right door. Therefore, when it comes, do not receive it through old fear. Do not ask whether you deserve it in the way the past taught you to doubt yourself. Stand upright, humble, awake, and at peace. Those who once ignored you may be surprised, but their surprise is not the center of the story. The center is the precision of the Most High, the one who knows when you are mature enough to carry the new thing without losing purity. Prepare your heart. Child, what is coming will not only open a door, it will remind you that no one can cancel what heaven has quietly preserved for you. O chosen one, there are very clear signs showing that you are entering a season of elevation in your spiritual life. And I want to name them gently so you no longer confuse what is happening with instability. Do not think these signs belong only to people who have never stumbled, never grown tired, never had a day of weakness. No, my child, what is appearing in you is not evidence of perfection, but evidence that you have passed through heavy things and still preserved the deepest pure part of yourself. You have been tested. At times, you felt as though you no longer had the strength to keep standing, and there were nights no one knew. You had to gather each breath just to get through. Yet you still did not let darkness turn you into a bitter person. That is the first mark of someone being prepared for a higher level. I see your position not only through what outsiders can see. They may look at unfinished results, pose, losses, and the times you had to begin again, then rush to conclude that you are delayed or not ready. But I see something deeper. You have learned to rise without losing softness. You have endured unfair words without letting your mouth become a source of poison. You have passed through rejection and still not closed your heart against true love. Some people see only the cracks, but heaven sees the light beginning to pass through those very cracks. You are not excluded from the season of elevation because you have been wounded. Sometimes the very place where you were wounded becomes the place where maturity is sealed most strongly. And understand this, a season of elevation does not always begin with a loud echo. It often begins with a very quiet change in how you respond. What once made you panic no longer controls you as it did before. The person who once shook you no longer holds your entire peace in their hands. The judgments that once made you rush to prove yourself now only cause you to pause. Breathe deeply and choose clarity. This is not coldness, nor is it you becoming distant from life. It is a sign that you are being placed into a new order, when your inner life is no longer easily dragged away by every outer voice. You begin to hear more clearly what the Most High is entrusting to you. Therefore, my child, do not take lightly the small signs that are appearing. The new peace in old circumstances, the new clarity before choices that once confused you, the new courage to say no to what does not belong to you, and the new gentleness to continue loving without losing yourself. All of these are signs of elevation. I am not saying you have reached the end of the journey, but I am confirming that you have crossed an important threshold. What once tried to break you could not swallow you. What once made you doubt your value is now becoming ground for you to stand more firmly. Lift your head in humility, because I am near you, guarding your steps and reminding you that the new season is not coming because you are perfect. It is coming because you have been preserved, refined, and prepared to carry something higher with a brighter heart. You have carried something hidden within yourself longer than anyone around you could recognize. Not merely a surface desire, but a lasting knowing that your life was created for something greater than what your eyes have yet seen. I know you have often tried to live as though you did not hear that call, tried to blend into the normal rhythm, tried to be content with what was in front of you. But inside you there was still a small light that refused to go out. It was not loud ambition wanting to be seen, nor was it a desire to compete with anyone. It was like a gentle but firm reminder that your story still has pages not yet opened, that the deepest part of your journey has not ended, and that the years of delay have no right to declare the promise dead. There were seasons when you walked without much outward evidence to continue believing. No one applauded. No door opened clearly. No sign was large enough for you to explain to others why you still refused to let go. People around you may have continued with their lives, choosing roads that were easier to understand, more practical. Safer. Someone may once have believed with you and later grown tired. Someone may once have encouraged you and later become silent. Someone may have looked at you with pity, as though you were holding on to something far too distant. But you still continued walking, even though your feet grew tired many times, even though your heart often grew quiet, even though your reason once asked whether you were holding on to something that no longer belonged to you. I want you to understand that faithfulness in that dark place is the first sign, not when you are recognized, not when everything becomes easy, not when the fruit has appeared before your eyes, but when you still guard what was sown into you during days when no one sees. You did not abandon the calling simply because it had not yet been confirmed by results. You did not bury faith simply because circumstances had not yet made a path. You did not betray the deepest part of yourself just to be safe, according to another person's definition. That is not small, child. It is the sign of someone being preserved for a season that has not yet arrived but is drawing near. So do not treat the years of waiting as evidence that you have been forgotten. Many precious things need a long time to mature in silence. What is built quickly is often shaken quickly, but what is refined through endurance has the strength to stand when the true day of opening arrives. I saw you on the roads no one knew about, through the times you almost wanted to let go, but still chose to take one more small step. I saw your quiet faithfulness, your refusal to turn away from what was still alive within you, and your silent courage when you continued believing without a clear reason. Now, I remind you to guard that knowing with humility and clarity. Do not turn it into pressure to prove yourself. And do not let delay make it bitter. Let it lead you into preparation. Discipline, focus, and clean, steady choices. You have not carried it this long, only to give up right before the dawn changes color. What lives within you is still breathing by appointment, and when the right time comes, you will understand that none of the hidden seasons were meaningless. They taught you how to carry something great with steadier hands, a softer heart, and steps more worthy of the road that is opening. You have reached moments like this before, and you have felt something very sacred touch you, only to grieve when it seemed to slip from your hands. My beloved child, there were mornings when you woke with clarity, as though your inner life had been washed clean of the old noise. There were prayer hours when you were so sincere that every word carried weight. Every declaration made you believe that this time you would be different. This time you would not return to the old cycle again. But then the day passed. Emotions settled. Pressure returned. And you found yourself still facing familiar grooves, the same heaviness, the same distance between who you are now and the image of who you know you are called to become. I know that made you tired. You asked yourself whether you were not strong enough, not enduring enough, not faithful enough to hold on to change. You looked at the times you began and then slowed down as proof that you had failed. But I want you to look deeper, with gentler eyes. What matters is not how many times you stumbled, but that you still returned. After every disappointment, you still searched for the way back to the light. After every time you saw that you had not yet lived according to what you desired, you still did not bury that longing. After every season that seemed to begin again from the beginning, there was still enough fire in you to say, I want to be renewed. That returning is not as small as you think. Others may look at it and call it stubbornness, naivete, or the way you keep hoping for what you have not seen. They may not understand why you still pray, still rise, still believe that within you there is a higher invitation. But I tell you, there is a quiet strength within you that does not know how to abandon what God placed in you. Not because you do not know pain, but because something deeper than pain is still calling you forward. Not because you have never doubted, but because even in doubt, you have still not completely lost your calling. That is the second sign. My child, a sign does not always come as a great light or a powerful emotion. Sometimes the sign is found in the fact that you still return after the days when you wanted to give up. It is found in the small but sacred decision to wipe your tears and begin again. It is found in refusing to let the times you slowed down define the whole of your journey. I want you to understand that your perseverance is not weakness. It is proof that what was sown in you is still alive, still breathing, still finding its way upward through heavy layers of soil. And this time, you do not need to move forward through tension or self-blame. Move through quiet trust. Let your return no longer be a cycle of disappointment, but a rhythm of restoration, where each time you come back, you do not begin from zero, but from a deeper layer of maturity. You need to name that thought accurately, because not every caution within you is wisdom, and not every doubt is protecting you. A reflex has been formed in you through long seasons of waiting, when what you believed was sacred positioning seemed to come slowly, when the promise appeared silent, when the signs that once gave you hope were stretched by time until you began shrinking your faith to hurt less. I understand that. Beloved child, I do not come to rebuke you because you were once cautious, nor do I see that caution as shameful. In some seasons, that guardedness helped keep you from breaking further. It helped you stand when your heart no longer had the strength to endure another disappointment. But what once helped you survive an old season is not necessarily allowed to lead you in the new one. There is a kind of doubt that looks like protection, but if you do not recognize it, it will silently stand before the door of your receiving and call every sign too small, every reminder insufficient, every arrangement coincidence. It does not destroy you with noise. It slows you through minimizing. It whispers that you should not believe too much, should not hope too deeply, should not call the sacred sacred. Because if you reduce the meaning of every experience, you will not have to hurt when what you hope for does not appear exactly as you imagined. I know why that reflex was created, but I must also tell you, right now, it no longer serves your maturity. This is not the moment for you to protect yourself from the light. This is the moment to open your heart to the guidance that has found you at the right time. The Most High has not sent this reminder to you in a fragmented or random way. What is touching you has been arranged with gentle precision, not to force you into blind belief, but to awaken the purest part within you that knows how to recognize when heaven is drawing near. If you continue allowing the old reflex to decide for you, the cost will not only be missing a beautiful emotion, but missing the ability to fully receive what has been sent to open a path, strengthen you, and lift you above the fog of doubt. Therefore, I, Michael, stand beside you with mercy and luminous solemnity, reminding you to name that reflex and no longer let it rule. You do not need to blame yourself for once withdrawing, but from this moment onward, you also do not need to keep living as though every promise will disappoint you. Let awareness replace defensiveness. Let quiet trust replace the habit of minimizing what is sacred. What is coming to you does not need to be doubted in order to become safe. It needs to be received by a heart soft enough to recognize that heaven still knows how to find you at the right time. This is a very subtle kind of attack, beloved child, because it does not aim at something unfamiliar, but touches the very wound closest to what the Father is preparing to open in your life. I, Michael, want you to hear this with peace, because not every hesitation in you is weakness, and not every step back comes from rebellion. There were times when you stepped back because something deep within you still remembered an old wound. A time when you believed, stepped forward, opened your heart, and thought you were following a high calling, only for it to end in disappointment, humiliation, and the feeling of being left alone in a place where you did not know how to protect yourself. When something new appears with a shape similar to what once hurt you, the hidden part within you immediately recognizes the familiar trace. You may not have had time to think clearly, but vigilance rises first. You look at the present opportunity, but you feel the pain of the previous time. You hear today's invitation, but inside you hear the echo of an old season, where you lost something precious, had to spend a long time recovering, and blamed yourself for trusting too quickly or stepping too far. At that very point, the adversary does not need to say that you are unloved, nor does it need to argue with you about what is sacred. It only needs to pull your eyes back toward old evidence and let pain do the rest. Understand this correctly. Your self-protective reflex is real. The wound that activated that reflex is also real. I do not come to tell you to pretend you were never hurt, nor do I ask you to ignore what once made you tremble. But I come to remind you that a wound can provide information, but it is not allowed to become the final guide. What happened before can teach you to become wiser, but it has no right to imprison you at the edge of what the Father is arranging today. If you allow painful memory to decide in place of peace, you may call it caution, but in truth, you are withdrawing from the place you are being invited to enter. So when you stand before a new arrangement and feel your heart wanting to pull back, do not quickly condemn yourself, and do not run away too quickly. Stop. Breathe slowly, and ask very gently, is this threatening my present? Or is it only touching an old memory within me? There is a difference between clear warning and fear wearing the clothing of wisdom. Warning brings clarity, fear brings shrinking. Wisdom helps you walk slowly but steadily. An unhealed wound makes you close the door, even when the Father is opening the way. I stand beside you as a merciful protector, not allowing you to be shoved by the past, but also not forcing you to rush into what has not been discerned. Let the Father heal the painful place the adversary once pointed to. Let light touch the exact place where you are still bleeding, so that this time you do not act from panic, nor withdraw because of an old memory. You can enter the new thing with awake eyes, a guarded heart, and peace as your guide. What hurt you before has no right to decide your entire future. There is a knowing within you that always goes ahead of the things you are touching, as though something inside you has seen the road before your feet have stepped upon it. You can sense the movement of circumstances very early, sometimes even before others realize that anything is changing. You see the way out, while many people are still naming the problem. You understand the depth of a story, a relationship, an opportunity, or a danger, even though no one has officially taught you how to perceive in that way. I speak this to you with tenderness but clarity. This is not arrogance. It is the ability to recognize patterns you have lived with long enough, suffered through deeply enough, and observed closely enough to learn to trust what you see, even when no one around you sees the same thing. But I also know your hidden pain. That knowing has often not become a result in time. There were ideas that came to you with great brightness, directions that appeared very clearly, inner reminders so precise that you could not deny them. Yet between the moment you recognized them and the moment you built them, something drained their strength. Sometimes it was delay. Sometimes it was the fear of being judged. Sometimes it was speaking too early to someone who did not know how to cherish what was precious. Sometimes it was accumulated weariness from many seasons when you had to give without being restored properly. And so what had once shone brightly within you began to fade. Not because it was not real, but because it was not protected long enough to take form. The gap between what you recognize and what you actually build is one of the places that hurts you most. You are not in pain because you lack ability. You are in pain because you know you were born to do more than what your present life is showing. You are not in pain because you are empty inside. You are in pain because there are too many signals, too much light, too many things wanting to take form within you. But you have not always known how to turn them into steady steps. Therefore, do not call yourself a failure. Do not treat unfinished attempts as proof that you are not chosen. I am showing you the place where the current was interrupted, so you will no longer keep losing strength in the same place. From now on, you must learn a new rhythm. Recognize, guard, wait for the right time, then act in peace. Not everything you see needs to be spoken immediately. Not every idea that comes must be taken out to seek another person's confirmation. Not every clarity matures in noise. There are things that must be nurtured in silence until they have enough root, enough stem, enough strength to withstand the wind. I will teach you to close the doors that drain your energy. Choose carefully who is allowed to hear what is still tender, and turn your knowing into gentle discipline. Then, what you understand will not remain only in the mind. It will become a work, become sweet fruit, become a life arranged in light.